here today. You already heard some maybe of Ronald, the previous speaker, on also the, let's say, social aspects of innovation. What I want to talk about today is more from my own experience than the global textbook. If we're looking at the SDGs, there's a lot to say about that and how you feel about that. And this is some of, let's say, a paradox between if we look at these sustainable goals and what we feel like innovation. A lot of times restrictions or things are experienced that way. And that in combination with innovation, which is for most technology driven, can feel a bit like to be an intention. The greater good is the drive for innovation and profit. I said here, well, this is exactly the case. We have to be real. If there's no profit in it in some way, it's not only financial, but we have to have some gains. Otherwise, there are no benefits and it doesn't make sense. Looking from an innovation point of view and being an innovator myself, we can say that, in fact, we can distinguish 4 major time scenes. If we look at the ancient days, it was ruler rules, as I call it. You have the ruler, a few people were paid and the others were just submitted to do whatever he wanted them to do, which was mostly the continuous heavy work as machinery was not in place. So a lot of handiwork. The second is the primus inter pares. That means that you're one of the leaders, but you're in fact the top one, right? So few people were rewarded and the feeling of that they were special instead of just having a pay, but they could be in this vicinity of the leader and feel great but the others, they were just enslaved. And it's been going on for a lot of time. And the enslaved ones were there to do the continuous heavy work, right? So we're seeking already to automate, but then by humans, the continuous work. Of course, I know this is a bit of a tangible subject, but anyway, I'm putting it as it is. In the newer days, we say the winner takes it all, giving huge bonuses to CEOs and the corporate executives and the rest of the people doing the work until late night. It used to be that when I was in New York City, that the lights should be on of every building to show you that everyone is still at work and not at home with their families, right? The only one with a family was the CEO and the rest of his executives. This has been going on for a long time. You see that, in fact, the model for the ancient days, the old days, and the newer days is still vivid in some countries and still in some corporations. But we're in the now. So in the now, we seek for the wise unicorn. Everyone wants to be a unicorn, but we don't want to be the unicorn of the winner takes it all. We want to be this conscious unicorn because we know one thing: we need human capital. Without the human capital, nothing works. We include everyone in the success of the leadership and create shared accountability. That also makes it easier to run a company. But that is smart because now we can progress. If we're looking at the focus of innovation, that goes aligned with the previous slide. From the ruler rules in the ancient days to the primus inter pares in the old days, to, let's say, the winner takes it all in the newer days and the wise unicorn in the now. In the ancient days, innovation was focused on architecture and construction. The bigger, the better. If we look at the ancient 7 miracles of the world, they all have to do with some kind of construction. They all have to do with the bigger and the better. Even if it was designing gardens, which is then mostly in the architecture, but it would show that how great this ruler was. Yes, still today we see the similarities with some rulers. If we look at the old days, it's more about the power. It's more about gaining, right? And the innovation was focused on exercising and financing that control. A lot of inventions were focused on firepower, on how to do it, how to go away from the sword and the axe into a slingshot or whatever, even in resulting into rockets. Yes, all of these innovations also can be applied for the good. But at that time, it was very simple. In the newer days, it's about the money. Innovation is focused on accumulating wealth faster. More output now. Factories have to produce more because there are more clients. We want more clients so we can sell more products. This creates the industrial power. In the now, we look at it differently. We want to apply kind excellence, innovation in multidimensional now, with focus on sustainable development on all fronts, not just one part, but with touching every single industry and sector. The only thing is quicker change, please. And this is the thing where we come in with technology, because technology now is like the Holy Grail, and it will be. Looking at that from a corporate innovation point of view, this is almost a clash of the titans between what do you want for the good and what do you want to make money? Innovation for profit or innovation to do good? Why not both? And the why innovate question is not a silly question. It's in fact the motivation of doing everything. Innovation has largely been a reactive kind of innovation. We are in a predicament, we are in a need. Let's do something. Look at COVID now, right? In the time of the now, we can look beyond that. We can look beyond the necessity of today and aim for higher goals. Maybe this time and age will be regarded as the Enlightenment years. I don't know. We had that before in the past. Maybe this is the new time. If we look at the SDGs, then we would say we care for the planet, but do we really? Or do we just protect our natural resources? Or is it truly being conscious of the planet we inhabit and taking care of it? Equal distribution of wealth. Is it just growing total accessible markets? Because the more people have access, the more people are on the grid, the more people have bank accounts. It means that they can pay us. It means that they can be onboarded. A lot of blockchain projects are involving that new kind of clients. 1.5 million people on this globe don't have a bank account. Let's solve it. But why? For them to have a better life? Or for them to be a customer, a client, a business partner? Or do we really want to challenge poverty? Global inclusion. Access to available talent, I say. We need talent. There's a scarcity in talent. Where do we find them? We find them in the worlds we did not discover yet. Let's bring them education. Let's give them money in the pockets. Let's see to it that we can, in fact, harvest the talent. Bit of a devil's advocate, yes. Or are we empowering people to grow to their full potential? I like the latter. If we look at the Sustainable Development Goals, there's 17. And they've been driving us for a couple of years now. The World Economic Forum is all about them. But is it blindly running behind something, a great idea? No, creativity is thinking up new things, yes. And innovation is doing them. If we look at these 17 goals, they're now very embedded in every large corporation. Tell me one that is not applying one of these goals or having them as an aim. And in fact, change for the better, tech for good. Yes, we're living in a marvelous world at the moment. And the paradox is shifting. We don't have to choose maybe between making profit and doing the good. If we look at the human paradox, it used to be exactly this. Technology solves scarcity of all kinds of resources with the sole purpose of increasing profit. Monetizing innovation, how do we afford it? A lot of managers maybe still in corporations will only look at the cost. Well, there's a difference between cost and investment. Investment is all about innovation, and the cost is about OPEX. Let me tell you that. Technology is used to find answers now, to find answers to challenges and to prove the quality of life with a sustainable impact. Yes, we can do both. We can scale for impact and have that innovation now targeted towards the future. Innovation in the now goes beyond the borders of the company because we understand that there are markets out there. Yes, good for profit, but good for the planet. Innovation in the now favors all life forms and not just the human as a customer. Because we know one thing, if we want to have a sustainable planet and be happy, we need innovation for good. Bill Gates said, "I believe that every life is valuable, that we can make things better, and that innovation is the key to a bright future, that we're just getting started." Yes, and I believe this as well. Life is essential to us, not the mouthpiece, although it's a good market when you're owner of the company that produces them, but you don't want to live that way. We want to live in freedom as much as we can and not bounded by all kinds of rules, although rules apply. So there are also rules for being amazing, and let's strive for that. For anyone in this realm of innovation, let's strive for the amazing. Innovate for all kinds of reasons. Fact is, be creative, but act now and change the world. I've never met anyone who's really innovative, who doesn't have a dream to fulfill or a path to take along. I thank you very much and remind that the greater good is the driver for innovation and profit. Thank you.